Hello, everybody.
Just got
Welcome
it
back.
down like
Are
clockwork.
you serious right now? Not during my intro. Never during my intro ever again. Do you understand that?
Intro.
Guys, I have great news. As of this week, we are officially profiting
Batman
off
was
of
pretty
the
good.
podcast. We are making money. We are
like
making
Batman.
money from the podcast.
This is good.
Okay.
Batman was
The
good.
reason that it took so
This is a
long
terrible
for us
start to this.
The reason that it took so long for us to make money off of the podcast is because I was paying somebody multiple people to edit every episode. And with
I have
how
aluminum-free deodorant now.
with the little amount of money that we were making off of the podcast,
because I was reading that aluminum is bad for your skin.
yeah, we were paying the editors more than we were making off of the videos.
So I bought Speed Stick.
Should we reveal how much we
Fish is
split
not
up the
letting us
revenue?
have our audio over this at all. That's why I think Louis and I are just hell bent on talking over him right now. It's because he has control of the audio lines, so he can just choose what he wants
To
you guys
mute
to
us.
hear.
It is true. Now, the reason that we were able to catch up on profiting is that we no longer have editors for the not vlogs, for the podcast. I am doing
Because we no
100%
longer
of
make mistakes.
the
That's
editing.
true.
I'm doing the thumbnails. Yeah, that's another thing that we tried before, is somebody else making the thumbnails, but now I'm making everything. I guess because of that, can we reveal to the audience how much we are splitting the profits?
Oh yeah, go
Have
ahead.
we even
'cause
talked about it?
At the very beginning, I thought I wasn't making money off of this at all. I just thought it was a fun thing to do with my friends, and then they revealed to me that I'd be making money if we made money. I was like, "That's amazing!"
Yeah, now officially we are making money. It is split 50, 25, 25. And
Yes.
that is, like I said, because I am doing the editing
He
and
does
the
everything.
thumbnails. But we are hoping that once we start making big bucks, if this podcast does grow, that we can eventually split that more up down the line.
Well, then we can actually then hire people again.
Yeah, then we can have people, we can have a production team. And then Twobold, when you move down here, then we can meet in person. It'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, we can do... Oh my god, that'd be so great, man.
We could have a podcast in an actual fish tank.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That's
Because
a
you have
great
the
Fish
hot
tank
idea.
in
tub.
the background.
That
'cause you have a
no,
hot
like
tub.
let's
We scuba
oh
dive.
fuck.
Or we could just get a
room.
normal. We could just get a normal
No, we
fish
could
tank,
build
and we
a
each have
room
our own
and
fish.
fucking paint it blue, and like actually like that'd be sick.
You know, my room is actually blue right now. It's kind of like a baby bluish type color, but it's.
I mean, all
it's
we need
kind
is
of
a
fitting.
wall,
Suits
really.
you.
We need like a wall or like a corner.
It is hard to find
a
walls
room.
nowadays.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
but we can do
You know what I
the
was
whole
shocked
thing
by?
fish tank themed.
Dude, my cousin, my parents went up to New Jersey to visit my family for my grandmother's birthday. And my cousin, who apparently is a delivery driver for UPS, he and his wife just bought a whole ass house. And it's quite large. And I'm like, damn, I should have gone into UPS because clearly they're making pretty good money.
Wait,
It's
what
crazy
is
to
he?
me. I did
He's
not
like a
think they made
delivery
that much.
guy, or
Yeah, he delivers packages. That's what he does.
Louis, we are so rude.
why?
Twobold was in the middle of speaking, and then I saw a notification on my phone. I picked it up, looked at it, and then I looked up and I saw Louis on his phone as well while Twobold was in the middle of speaking.
I heard what he's saying though.
I did
about
too,
his,
but I feel like we should be looking at each
Wow.
other.
That's pretty messed up, guys. I even have my phone right next to me turned off.
I'm turning
so that
I'm
way-
flipping my phone around. No
so
more
that way I don't
notifications.
have to
can
get
interrupt
distracted
me.
by you guys. Can't believe these fuckers.
Diary
Oh.
entry 246.
Captain's log.
Sons of bitches. So before we got on the podcast today, I was Louis told me to download Fortnite, which I'm, as many people probably know if you've ever gone on my stream, I despise battle royales. But Louis said, "Hey, you can move and shoot," and then put a smiley face, and then also said, "There's no buildings." And I'm like, okay, well, if there's a time to play
try
Fortnite,
it
it's
out, yes.
probably now.
That's what
But
I'm
I
saying.
just don't know how I feel about watching Naruto just like run me down in like, I don't know, a grocery cart. I feel like that would probably morally break me at some point
Dude,
if that happened.
me and Aldo were run down so many times by fucking Kakashi Sensei and then like a Spider-Man Venom suit just over and over and over again. It was so bad. People are still so good at that game. I
mean,
don't
I
understand.
imagine.
I'm
been
still
out for a
early
while.
enough into the game that I still find bots every game that we play. I haven't lost a game of Fortnite
Oh,
yet, and I played like 4.
Me and Aldo were definitely playing against people.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure of it.
So they were just straight styling on you without even building. So you can't even be like, "Oh, he just erected the Taj Mahal" when I attempted to fire upon him, and I didn't
You can't
instantly
build.
kill him.
I'm very
So
excited.
you just got outgunned basically.
But even then, it's like I'm pretty good at Apex. Like we win. I would like to say like 5% of the games that we play. Like we win them.
A staggering amount.
I think it's a
But-
bit high for me.
In Fortnite, like we didn't even get close to winning when we were playing like with real people. It's so hard. It's
Well, I mean,
crazy.
You have to come to terms with this, Louis, because I've decided.
Are you gonna
upon
call me
this.
a bad gamey?
No. I'm gonna call you the same thing that I realized when I was trying to play Valorant the other day. Like, it was off stream. Like, I suck so bad at Valorant now, and I don't know why. Because I used to be like relatively good.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first started, like I wasn't great. Don't get me wrong, but like I felt confident when I went into gunfights. Now I'm scared of everyone in every rank. Like, it could be Wood 2. Some dude could be drooling on his, like, mouse or something. And I would still be scared to fight him because there's just no way I'm going to hit him. And I realized when I went into deathmatch, I'm just slow. I'm just too slow. My reaction speed is not high enough or fast enough, whatever it is. Like, I'm just getting instantly headshot by these kids, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't think there's a way to fix it. So I got to play Brimstone and put smokes down everywhere, so that way I can control the environment around me if I can't control the gunfights. Just hide in the smoke with a shotgun.
I think for me it really depends on the day. I've been wanting to do this on stream, but I don't know if I like have the patience for it. But I've been wanting to climb Valorant just to see how far I can get, because I feel like I am very good at that game.
Yeah, and you don't play it a lot. I don't see you play it a lot, but when you do play, it's like I see you at the top of that leaderboard. I recognize you. So I think you should do that. I highly encourage.
I want to. Yeah, could be fun. Could be a fun stream.
I'm 100% down to support you in that role from the sidelines. I'll be in your chat. I'll be like, "Go Louis," and then I'll go and kind of like, find a different game that doesn't require me to have pixel perfect first bullet accuracy on a .01 reaction speed. Deal with these friggin' hoodlum kids. Hell, didn't you lose to one of your regular chatters recently in CS:GO?
In Counter-Strike.
The game you purport to be your like #1 game.
Do you want me to tell you the story?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, I have Phish messaging me. It's time to play Overwatch. We are in quadruple overtime because we keep just trading and trading and trading and trading and trading, and then he just gets a fucking lucky headshot on me. It could have gone literally either way. It could have gone.
Sounds to me like you
literally
just didn't
either
have the stamina to pull out that final victory, whereas he was young, nubile, and
I
ready.
didn't want my stream to be this. It was like nearing on an hour and a half.
An hour and a
us,
half
but-
of CS:GO
yes.
between the both of you? Dude,
Yes.
that is too long.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, is it really worth me not giving him VIP? Like, I'll just give him VIP. I'm not saying that I didn't. He won fair and square. I did want to win, but like, it was a long time.
I think
It
I
was
could
a
be
day-
good at CS:GO now. I
Why?
can hold my own because
Okay,
now
now.
I
You've
understand
been playing Valorant?
the type of gameplay. Yeah, Valorant is pretty similar, right?
Shooting wise, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
about where the similarity ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
you
think
watch someone
before I
that's
could
really good
literally-
at CS:GO play, oh my god, it's they just do things so fast. And
I
they
think
just
it's
throw,
still
like,
more
14
impressive
grenades.
than Valorant. Like, being good at Counter-Strike is still more impressive than being good at Valorant.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a different form of impressive, I think.
Really?
In my personal opinion, yeah. Because, like, in CSGO, it's very much like you already have everything that you're, like, ready to do. Like, everyone knows what to do at a certain level, right? Like, you have to throw smokes here and flash here, do this kind of thing, and then you execute a site, etc. In Valorant, it's like more you have to adapt to whatever the enemy team's going to throw at you. Because in some games, you could just have a raise, and you're just like, okay, well, I can't stand here because there's going to be a grenade. But in another one, the raise is replaced with, like, I don't know, a Viper, and you have to watch out for, like, mollies falling from the sky from 3 sites away as you're attempting to defuse a bomb, and you can't find them because they're on the other side of the fucking map. It's a different it's a different beat.
I don't know. I mean, I'll always think that the clips in in Counter-Strike, completely shit on everything I've ever seen in Valorant. Like, I'll go on like a best clips of this week for Valorant, and it's just like I can go to a clip from like 2010 from Counter-Strike, and it'll beat like all of them. Like fucking,
I don't know, man. Have you seen like Korean Jetman?
Like,
I think
dude,
there's that
like
guy on
fucking
YouTube.
simple throwing a fucking op over the wall to distract him for a second, and then gun him down. Like, that's
Fake flash.
infinitely cooler than everything else I've ever seen.
The first fake flash with an op.
Yeah, we did that.
One of the shining moments of Valorant was the conga line of guns, just to throw them in front, and then some guy gets wide peeked, and you're just like, oh, come on, man.
It's a great day. Yeah, I've playing competitive Valorant is hard to not play like an absolute coward. I feel nobody pushes. You can't flank around the map, which is literally where I get all of my frags from. If you ever look at the scoreboard, I'm usually, if I am top fragging, I also am top deathing, or whatever you call that. I have the most amount of deaths on the team.
You know, back in Battlefield 2 for the Xbox, you'd be called Bantha fodder every game.
What does that mean?
Means you died the most. They gave you little accolades and whatever. And it took me and my brother years to figure out what Bantha fodder meant. Because we kept popping up on us sometimes. Like, what is that? What does that mean? And it's like, oh no, my friend came over. He's like, oh, that means you died the most. I'm like, what? All this
Bantha
time
fodder,
it's been insulting me?
That's a good name though.
Dude,
for
I
like
missed
a
that
stream.
game. That was like the pinnacle of shooters right there. I still liked the one EA released. That Battlefront was a lot of fun.
Battlefront 1, dude, yeah, I played that game forever. Dude, me, Ruben, and a couple friends, we got trapped in a never-ending game. Like,
Is that possible?
Yeah, there was a game mode where there was two AT-ATs traveling in a line, and the goal was you had to, as the rebels, you had to kill them, and as the Empire, you had to protect them, right? Mm-hmm. There's 3 phases in the map that trigger shit to happen, right? We were able to kill the first AT-AT before the first phase. And for some reason, that stopped the second AT-AT. And I remember it was in the woods map, and we were in the game for like 2 hours, just killing each other. And it was so awesome. Because, like, nobody wanted to leave because they're like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
that's so funny. I just remember, like, very vividly going to Moise Isley and playing with, like, the Heroes mode. And then my brother would be one of the Jedi, and then I would be, like, Darth Maul. And we would climb to the top of this real long, like, this real tall black spire thing. And we just have Jedi battles on the top of it and see who can get force pushed off and just, like, hurled to their death. Like, I'd play as Yoda sometimes, like, hop up it, and he'd, like, force push, and you just hear, this little green puppet just ragdolling off the map. Oh, it's so fun. I miss those games, man. They're very, very, very cool. Like, the newest one, though, like, had that whole issue with, like, the way they went about playing classes and getting to be the heroes was not the greatest.
Yeah, Battlefront, in the EA Battlefront 1, they finally had released, like, it was like a 3v3 hero mode, right? Where you just, like, you can queue up with 3 of your friends, and you would just, like, battle with the champions, right? Do they still have that, or?
I have no idea. It's been too long. I just remember, like, how much it didn't feel like the old game, because me and my brother would play like couch co-op all the time. Mm-hmm. And we would play I think it was called like something Conquest, I think, and basically it was just like this huge map and had a whole bunch of like little circles on it, and the goal was to like collect the most like wins on each one of the circles, and sometimes you could like meet in space and you'd have like these epic space battles, and all he and I would do is immediately find fighters, crash into the enemy like main battleship and blow it up from within every single time, and the AI never knew what to do. So the entire ship would just start exploding and the AI would just run in circles, be like, what's happening? It was very, very vivid memories, man.
So during Battlefront 2, maybe like 5 years after, I think it got leaked, some Battlefront 3, what they were working on before, like the EA stuff. Did you ever see that footage?
No, not at all.
Dude, it was like, instead of just like map wars, they were world wars. Like the fucking the footage is like some guy, you're running through like a spaceship, right? And then you get into a aircraft, you leave the spaceship, and then you start like controlling it into the world. And then you see like dogfights happening in the space, then dogfights happening in the sky on the world, and then you can go and land and fight in the war like as a foot soldier.
How big are those
And
servers
like,
going to be?
all people. It was crazy. It looked so nuts. I don't know. It could have been like 64 probably.
That sounds about right, yeah. I wonder if they're ever going to go bigger than that when it comes to team games. I don't really see a point in having more than 64, but I just wonder.
I just don't want to be a part of those large game modes anymore. Like the new Battlefield game, as much of a disappointment as it was, proved to me that that's just a lot of people to be everywhere, man. It's a lot.
I think it's cool though. I think it's cool when it's done right. Like when it's like an actual military like RP kind of thing, like where like you guys are like really spread apart and like I don't know. There's this.
You mean like Arma-esque?
Like Flash, yeah, like Arma-esque. But Arma is not that fun. There was a.
I think it's just because we sucked so
we
bad
sucked
at
it,
Arma.
but like,
dude, I never
kind
forget.
of like that. I think the idea of it is cool in my brain, but like in practice, maybe it doesn't work.
Dude, I'll never forget Phish. I tried to get you to play, and you and Sci-Fry to come with me and Louie on an adventure, and I don't think it ever ended up panning out. But me and Louie played for like an hour and a half once, and I remember us spawning in not knowing anything about the controls. Of course, we went through the tutorial and remembered none of it. And like what happened was we spawned in at the main base, and like the battle was already going on, and then me and Louie get into a plane, and he hops out, and I'm like, Louie, what's the get out of plane button? He's like, I don't know what it is on yours. I know you changed it. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how to get out. And this guy that was flying the helicopter started yelling at me over the mic in Russian, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck. I'm just trying to get out. I'm sorry. I don't know. And he got out of the plane, and then he pulled me off of the plane and shot me in a cornfield, and then flew away. And then he landed back at this point where I respawned. He got out of the plane. Everyone else got on. And as soon as I tried to hop in, he pulled me off, shot me again, and then flew off. Meanwhile, I'm telling Louie, I'm like, I just want to play, and he's not even letting me. And I tried to fly a plane, and it went sideways immediately and exploded. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I just want to get to the fighting. I can't get out of spawn. If I try to hop on the evac ship, the Russian pilot shoots me to death, and he's on my team.
No, I played with you guys very briefly, because I remember I was the first one to learn how to, because I literally looked it up. I was so tired of flying and crashing instead of actually having successful landings that I literally looked up how to fly in the game, and then it was a miracle, and then I told you guys how to fly, and then you guys knew. But yeah, up until that point, we had just been like suicide pilots, and people would have to jump out before we got anywhere near the ground. I think they'd take fall damage or something like that. But then once we figured out how to land, it was a...
I remember one time...
I never figured out how to land. My ship had a 100% fatality rate.
I remember I got one of the land vehicles, and I got us all in it. And then we were driving to the thing, and then I guess I hit a fence. I didn't realize, and it like popped our tires, and then we were going like 5 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were like, fuck it, let's run all the way there.
It was like a 4-mile realistic sprint. We got there, and all Louis says we're finally here, and he gets sniped immediately behind me. I remember that. He just fell over, and we're like, Louis! And then Phish got shot, and I'm hiding behind a rock. I'm like, where is he coming from? And then an RPG flies down next to my rock and blows me to shit. I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. We walked for 20 minutes to get here, and I died before I even saw the man that killed me.
That literally was the last match, and I tried getting in the vehicle, and the vehicle moved slower than we did on foot. So that was just not an option. We were stranded in the middle of the battlefield.
I can't believe it popped our tire. That's as funny as shit. It was like a tank too, which is the best part. It was like this big APC, an armored vehicle. It looked like a box, and basically, that you stapled treads fence on. Louis hit one fence in like some random farmer's backyard, and it just blew out the left tire. And Louis like, guys, we can't go forward.
Yeah, I was frustrated with them. Like, let me behind the fucking wheel, okay?
Planes are going
look
over
at the
us.
map. If you looked at the map, you can see real time where your teammates are, and there's that fucking Russian pilot that was just ferrying people into the fight over and over again. And I got on comms and I was just like, "Hey, could we get a lift?" And I just hear a string of Russian words. I'm like, "He's not giving us a fight. He's not helping us out."
Dude, we should download that game again. I'd be down to play again.
Dude, you need to learn buttons to just sit down and then crouch and then lean and then get up. Like, there's like literal buttons for everything. It's insane. It's actually insane. I looked up a guide video for Arma. It was like 40 minutes long. It's like, these are the basic controls. I'm like, 40 minutes for the basics? Bitch, what's advanced? It's a crazy game, man. Realistic simulators are actually truly insane. And I do not have the patience for it, as I've come to realize.
Did you guys ever play Tarkov?
No.
No, not at all. I actually roasted one of my streamers about it for almost like 30 minutes, I think, the other day. Like,
you what?
I roasted one of my viewers during stream for like 30 minutes the other day. I was like, Tarkov is possibly one of the worst games I've ever seen. I don't understand how anyone has any fun playing it, because all the highlight videos are of 3 kills maybe, and then people are just like, whoa, that was amazing. The best clip was of some dude that was on a roof who threw a grenade, fell off the roof, and made a sound that was, "Gwah!" And then the grenade killed him. And that was the funniest clip I saw the entire time, because it was the sound he made when he hit the ground was so not realistic. It's like,
I want to try it. I don't understand what the hype was about it. It's like a mix between, is it a battle royale or is it like a loot 'em?
I don't know. Every time I looked
at frag video highlights are 3 kills max. I don't know if
I don't even know. I don't think it's a battle royale. Like, you get dropped. I think this is what it is, and I could be wrong. Again, I think nothing of Tarkov. I don't like it. It is a stupid looking game. It's too realistic to the point where it inhibits fun. But if you like that kind of thing, check it out. Either way, what I think happens is you spawn into this world, and then you can either choose to be whatever the fuck a scav is, which I think is like just a random thing that runs around along with like NPCs in the world, and then you have people that come in as like actual humans or something like that with like real loot, and then you're trying to find
like gamer
stuff.
You can be like an NPC, like in game, like the movie Gamer.
I don't know. It's more along the lines of like scavs try to take the stuff of the actual human players, and the human players are like scrounging for stuff they find on people's bodies, like bullets or another gun. Whereas scavs maybe do the same thing, only NPCs don't shoot you. I don't know. From what I can tell is you just get dropped in. You can put in like a shit ton of armor on your body, and then if you get shot in the arm, you take arm damage, so you have to literally bandage up your actual arm, and you can't use that arm very well, and then you just take realistic damage everywhere, and you die in like a bullet, no matter how much armor you have on. And it's very confusing, and it looks very boring, and you can throw a grenade in a room and kill everyone, and I don't know why everyone doesn't just do that constantly. I assume grenades are very rare and expensive.
Every stream I've ever seen is I just walk into their stream and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna watch this. And then it's just them playing Tetris with their inventory for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know when the game starts. Has the game started?
I have never seen anyone actually playing Tarkov. I've just seen them in their backpacks and they're talking, and I don't know what they're talking about. And apparently you have to reload each individual bullet, and if you like reload your magazine, like you can have like 1 bullet in the magazine that you're loading into your gun if you don't do it properly. And, like, if you throw away the magazine, it's gone forever, like, including the bullets that are in it. It's just you'll never get it back.
Yeah, you have to load a single bullet into every magazine, right?
I assume so. Once again, I've looked at a lot of streams of this game to try and get a better grip of it, and I've never seen them actually playing. Either they're playing inventory Tetris, like you said, or they're hiding in the grass. And that's it. That's, like, the whole thing. And I don't know what's fun about it. I genuinely have never seen a gunfight ever. Like, ever. Not even once. I don't know what you do in that game. I'm so lost. It's like hardcore team deathmatch, but no deathmatch. It's just hardcore, and it stops there. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I thought Division could have been such a great game.
Tom Clancy's?
Yeah. The Division. It's like
in New York.
It's like realistic Blizzard, but it's like post-apocalyptic New York.
Did I play that game? I feel like I might have played that game. Is that
think
the one where the
So
enemies are just
in
giant
Division
bullet
2,
zombies?
there's this game mode that it's like I forget what it's called, but it's like you have to like survive a storm, right? And you have to find a cure for whatever virus you have. And basically like it brings in all of these like survival things that like you have to find like a trash bin that you can set on fire so you can warm yourself a little bit. You have to find like go through buildings and rummage through like to find bandages or like sweaters or shit like that. And then it's like just like an hour or like a 2-hour run of like this thing. It could have been cool if the whole game was like that, I think. And it was like
what I think is crazy about survival games is like when they don't have a sterilization system. So you do find bandages in like a trash can.
Yeah.
And your character's just like, hell yeah. It just starts rubbing like trash all over whatever open wound he has. Or like there's no specific animation for like healing yourself besides like the Fallout one where you always just bandage your left arm
Also,
no matter
what about
what gunshot wound you take.
Shitting and peeing.
We don't do that here.
I've seen a hunger bar. I've seen like temperature. I've never seen somebody that needs to shit and pee. Why do they
want
do
a game
that in
where they
survival
want-
games?
Yeah, I feel like that
why
could
can't
definitely
in
make
Last
it
of Us 2?
realistic. And you wouldn't have to go as much if you don't eat as much.
Exactly. So it's kind of like a plus to not eat as much because then you don't have to shit all the
Now,
time.
would there be gameplay involved, or is it literally something that you have to refill every
It's
now
a
and
quick
then?
time event.
Like,
If you don't do the quick time event well, you piss yourself or literally shit your pants. And then you have like
And then
stink
you have
marks all over you.
and then you
you're
have a
also
slow buff.
Oh, and you
'cause you're
attract
embarrassed
the
about it.
zombies because you smell like shit or something.
No, actually, it's the opposite. You attract less zombies when you shit yourself because you
But
smell
no,
bad.
no,
it
because
can't be
then
a
you're
positive.
encouraging. Yeah, no. 'Cause
No, there
that-
can be.
That's
There
why
can
you
be.
say there's a slow, not buff, but
Yeah,
you
you're
start
slow
moving
to
around
debuff.
slower. Yeah,
Yeah.
debuff. That's
you have
the
a
word.
slow debuff and you smell bad. So normal people think you're a zombie, whereas zombies think that you're probably a zombie because you smell like shit and you also move as fast as they do.
If
You
I made
ever
a
see that
survival
movie
game-
like Love Bites or some shit like that? It's about the zombie movie about finding true love.
Yeah,
You ever
with
see that
what's his
movie?
face, dude? Nick Holt, I think his name is.
I don't remember any of the actors. I just remember that it was the stupidest zombie concept I'd ever come across in my entire life because it
It's
basically
like at their
meant
airport, right? They're at an airport or something.
Yeah. So like basically it's a zombie apocalypse where like one of these zombies like still has like I don't know a functioning brain of some sort and like he's trapped in his zombie body and he finds a girl that doesn't immediately execute him and she like treats him as like a pet or whatever. Then they start hanging out something and then he falls in love and then he just becomes human again
Because his heart
because he
beats.
found love. And I thought that was the stupidest movie I'd ever watched in my entire life. I'm like, she should have executed you. And just been done with it. Like this is a bad zombie movie. And then like everyone can be saved if we find them love. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to find true love? Do you know how hard that's going to be to turn people back from being zombies? Some people don't even deserve it. I want to be real with you. Some people don't deserve true love.
Well, speaking of true love, I got my first. What is it? I used Tinder like a few.
Oh.
Or not Tinder. Excuse
You
me.
found your
Bumble.
first true love on Tinder?
No. My Bumble. I went swiping on Bumble a few days ago, and somebody actually messaged me. That's the first message that I got in ever since I moved to LA, and it was just a hi. That's what I. That's what I
Did
don't
you
like.
did
go
you get
from
a
there?
high? Did you? What did
I
you
didn't
do?
respond. I didn't respond. But
Why?
Because I don't really use them
Why?
seriously. I don't think I use the app seriously. But I was just the issue that I have with Bumble is like what's the point of making the girls respond first? That's literally how the app works. Is that the girls message first? If the same message is always going to be hi, I want something else. It's just like, oh, okay, now I have to start the conversation because I know for a fact that if I respond hi, then it's gonna go nowhere.
Yeah, but it means you got approval. That's what that means. It means like she's
They
going
say
out of her
hi.
way to let you know
You're
that
like-
yeah.
But
She
that's
looked
the
at
whole
the match
point
and
of
said, you know what, I
matching.
still. Well, that's the thing. Like sometimes I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but when I use Tinder, every once in a while I'll be swiping and I'm like, yes, shit, now go back. Ah, damn it, yes, and then I'll get a message from like a person that I didn't end up match with. I'm like, well, this is awkward now. But if you hit them with a hi beforehand, like Bumble does, then it's like you know for a fact she wants to talk to you. Like she's just like, now is the time. I'm
Okay,
available.
I will
Hit me up.
reconsider my view on this.
Yeah, hit me up.
On this.
Hit me
You
with
just
the
be like,
best pickup
"Hi."
line you got.
Hey, how are you? Fucking, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
boring.
hit him with Louis' patented poof. Here I am. With
Yeah.
the other 2 wishes.
Exactly. Poof.
Yeah, hit him with that
Here
good
I
pickup
am.
line. Or you can go with my pickup line. Put your mother on the phone.
The donkey ass one.
No, put your mother on the phone.
What the hell is that one?
I want to talk to your mom.
Oh, literally, you just say that? Oh.
There could be a donkey on fire, and you'd still be the hottest piece of ass here. That's what he went around doing.
That was my patented.
I like that one.
Came up on my own pickup line. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it really really sits that well outside of the thing
VR
we
chat.
did. Yeah. I'm a menace on VR chat, dude. You get a couple of drinks in me, I will hit on every dinosaur, person, thing, anywhere in VR chat. Doesn't even matter. There's an amalgamous blob of just pulsating energy, and I was like, "Damn, girl, you light up my world." It's like I'm a guy. I'm like, "Damn, that's a shame for you." Just walked away.
I'm a guy.
VR chat brings out the worst in both of you.
Oh yeah, 100%. VR chat's not a place you should ever go. Don't let your children
I
have
haven't played
VR.
VR chat in weeks. My headset doesn't work, or rather, Miyoshi sold me broken controllers. Literally, they don't work, so I can't play VR.
Did she
chat.
tell you beforehand that they didn't work?
She told me that she
You
used
can
them.
use-
She didn't mention that they're literally broken.
Can't you use your old headset?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. Well, the old headset is literally broken. That's why I got a new one. And now I have a working headset, but the
Oh.
controllers are broken and they can't work together.
So you gotta get new controllers.
I need to
part
get
two.
new controllers. Yeah. And I was gonna get the index controllers, which apparently work with the headset that I'm using, that are much better than the Vive controllers that I currently have. But the thing with the index controllers is that they've been out of stock for months at this point.
Yeah, the index is super out of stock too.
So I don't think I'm ever gonna play VR chat again.
That's a shame, man. You know, just considering how long I've had this headset, I've only ever used it for VR chat. Like, I haven't used it for like any other VR game, which is, I think, probably criminal. At
You
this
should
It's
try
scary.
Half-Life Alex.
It's scary how aware or just knowledgeable it is in the VR chat community that a bunch of people in there are alcoholics to the point where it's
that's
just
true.
normal to go up to somebody and say, "Hey, how much did you drink tonight?" I'm not drunk yet. Like, they'll be talking to you, not slurring their words or anything, and they'll be like, "I have had 15 shots so far. I killed half the bottle, and I'm ready to keep on going." And
they're
it's just
crazy,
like, wait, really? Like, I remember one time this guy came up to me and he was just like, "Yeah, every time there's somebody new that joins this map, I take 2 shots in honor of them." And I'm like, "Wait, did you mean that?" And he's like, "Yeah, and you just rolled up with 8 people, so I'm about to take 16. And I was like, "Oh, great."
Yeah, he called
And then
he called it a Texas Tink, I think, if I remember correctly. You got a Texas Tink, which
Yeah.
just means he'd click the 2 shot glasses together and then down them.
Jesus Christ.
And he was coherent for a very long time, I remember. So I'm not even sure if it's like true or not, but he sounded like he was a very large dude. So I imagine he might be able to power through that.
I
You
learned
guys ever
that.
play like Edward 40 Hands or whatever?
Yes, I have a picture of me doing that. Where you
Can
take
you send me the
240s
picture?
Okay, I need to find it. But that's where you take 240 bottles of malt liquor or something like that, and then you tape them
Old
to
English.
your hands. Yeah. You tape them to your hands. They're uncapped, and you cannot untape them from your hands until you are done with both bottles. Both bottles, by the way. You can't just drink one, then untape one of your hands, and then drink the other. No, you have to finish both of them. So most of the time, I remember when I was doing it with my friends, we had to, it was a race to see who, because by the end, you'd start needing to use the bathroom really badly, and you just had to, it becomes a sprint at the end there.
Like 80.
Yeah,
40 ounces.
I usually finished. I remember when I first started it, and I would always finish last. But then I started getting my way to the top, and the closest that I ever got to winning was second place, and that was it.
I've never played Edward 40 Hands, but I did try the Centurion Challenge, which is 100 beer shots in like 100 minutes. So every minute you take a shot of beer or whatever. And I'm 5'7", and like at my heaviest in college, like I was 163-ish maybe, and I definitely wasn't when I was playing this game. I was relatively in shape then. I got through half of it, and I was like, I'm going to go die in the bathroom. That's
Holy
it. That's
shit.
what I proceeded to do. I just vomited my guts up, and I was like, I'm not playing that game again, but I'm a half Centurion.
So I played that game as well once, and apparently it's not because of the intake of alcohol, because at the point that I was doing it was that It's the way that you consume the alcohol. Something about the carbonation going down your throat, like, very consistently, but at small amounts. It just builds up in your stomach differently versus somebody, like, taking a sip every now and then. Because when I played with my friends, I remember, first of all, I kind of got screwed over because you're using shot glasses. But we didn't realize this until near the end of the game. I had a bigger shot glass than everybody else. So I ended up, throughout that hour, or however long it is, I had like 7... Yeah, I had 7 beers finished, and everybody else had 6. And we were like, wait, you've been filling it 1 every minute, right? And I was like, yeah, I have been. But then, yeah, we compared our shot glass sizes, and I had a bigger one. And then what I ended up doing is that I wrapped a trash bag around my neck in case I had to vomit, because I was not leaving that room. I was not missing a minute. And then I just, like, vomited a little bit. I felt fine, though. It was just, like, the buildup in the stomach. Like, I wasn't drunk at that point. It was just the buildup of carbonation. I threw up into the bag.
I would not suggest ever playing that game, ever.
But
then
those
people out there, don't do any of these things. These are very, very poor life choices.
I didn't make a mess anywhere. I threw the bag out, and then I sprinted back, and I made it in time for the next shot of beer, and I felt like a legend in that
fucking
moment.
A lot of alcoholic games out there, kids and viewers listening. Don't play them.
Do them all.
Don't play them. Like, just drink responsibly, first off. Secondly, if you're going to drink irresponsibly, have a trash bag.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's these restaurants that they'll have like these giant drinks that you're supposed to share with the whole table. Like they'll put in a whole bottle of like vodka, and there are these giant like trash like bins. I don't even know. Like, I went to a restaurant and I literally think that it was called a trash bin, that they would get like a clean trash bin and fill up a bunch of shit and put a bunch of straws on it. And
big ass thing of
alcohol,
man.
Me, Ruben, my friend Christian, my friend Brandon, and my friend Robbie all did it, and we all took a straw and we were like, we're gonna finish this before dinner, or as with dinner, and we did. We finished it. Nobody was drunk for some reason. I don't know what it was. Like, nobody even got tipsy. And then as we're leaving, it's all 5 of us. And then I notice it's 4 of us. And I turn around and Ruben's like, I don't feel so good. Just threw up everywhere. And then I'm like, oh, God, I don't feel so good. And I threw up. And all of us were just throwing up because we just drank like a metric ton of sugar.
That is probably like the most dangerous part about mixed drinks, is like how sugary they are. Like, they're delicious. Don't get me wrong. If you're gonna go out of your way to start drinking, right? Don't ever start with like just straight beer or like straight drinks. Get yourself a nice mixed drink and ease yourself into it. It's usually a lot easier. I mean, more palatable until you find like your groove. If you're gonna get into that kind of thing, like the longest time. I love Shirley Temples. I don't know about you guys.
Dirty Shirley. It's my favorite drink.
Love Shirley Temples. They're so tasty. Give me all the grenadine on the planet. That, as long as it tastes like cherries, I'm happy, man. It was very good. And then I got into whiskey, but I still go out of my way to get a Shirley Temple every once in a while. I think there's like
on St.
What is a Dirty Shirley?
It's with vodka.
Oh, is that all it is?
It's the same thing.
Temple's like a normal one
with vodka.
Oh, okay.
Bro, on
so
St.
it's Sprite,
Day,
grenadine, and
Louis bought me a drink, and then I was like, okay, that's cool. And then he goes, all right, your turn to buy me a drink. I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. So then I'm like, what do you want, Louis? He goes, I'll have a Dirty Shirley. And then there's somebody else with us. It was his birthday, and I asked him, like, what do you want? He's like, get me whatever Louis wants. All right, I'll just get that. And then I came back, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm ordering 2 of the same drink. I might as well get one for myself. And then when I came back, Louis was just flabbergasted that I came back with 3 Dirty Shirleys.
I was like,
so
what
confused.
The fuck are you doing?
I was like, what do you mean? I got us drinks.
In my head, I didn't realize that he bought it for other people. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not drinking all this.
I was like, well, I got one for myself, too. I didn't just go up. I didn't just serve you like that. You want to hear something very sad that I've never actually told anybody up until now?
Sure. Okay.
It actually, it is a little bit scary. A little less than a year ago. I'm saying this because I actually discovered this at your house. This was the first morning that I realized. So I woke up hungover. This was after a night of drinking. And I'm in the studio. There's like padded walls, so there's no really room for background noise to enter into the room. So it was very silent. But then I heard like ringing, and I'm just like, what the hell is that? And I just figured, oh man, I'm probably just super hungover right now. Like, it's just my head pulsating that hard, like a headache. And then the next morning I didn't drink as much, but I went throughout the day and I realized like, oh my god, I have tinnitus already, and I realized, yeah, I'm already starting to lose hearing, and I have like tinnitus when I can notice I still have it to this day. Whenever it's quiet in a room, that's all I hear, and I know it's because when I would go to school every day.
Did you get it checked out by a hospital?
No, what I did is that I just kind of started lowering the volume on everything that I listened to. Like now,
well, you should go get it checked out. Like,
you think so?
Yes,
I looked it up. I looked it up, and
hearing is something you cannot get back.
I looked it up, and it's basically just like there's no cure for it. You just need to. There's ways to treat it, which is like if you ever find yourself in a silent room, just put on a fan or something. But all throughout the past few months that I've been living with it, it hasn't really bugged me too much. But,
dude, you should definitely just go get it checked out, because it could also not be tinnitus.
Yeah,
you think so?
That's true.
Yeah,
it could be like in Baby Driver. I think he got his ears fixed.
I think it developed because of high school mostly. When I would take the subway to school every day, the subway and just everything around you was so loud that you can barely hear your music. And I would wear headphones, so I would just blast it like super loud, whatever music I was listening to on the subway on the way there and back. And then I realized
yeah, could you?
I was just going to say, I realized how loud it was, like, once I would get out of the subway and it would be quiet and the music would still be just as loud.
I think I was talking to my producer friend about it, that we were talking about, like, he had a friend that was losing his hearing and he was, like, really scared about it and shit like that. And he went to a doctor to go check it out, which I'm probably going to go do soon, because I need my ears. That, like, if you're not listening to music, or if you're ever in a place where the only way you're damaging your ears is if the loudness is actually, like, hurting your ears. Like, if you feel like, oh shit, this like hurts, like that discomfort, then you're really hurting your ears. I don't know if you felt that on the train.
No, never. But I would just constantly just blast music in my ears. And I think that's where it started developing. Because when I went to college, I would just do the same thing. Like, I was just like, I listened to this volume before. I'm not going to lower it.
I will say that, Louis, you listen to things a lot louder than, like, anyone else I know. Like, every time you put something on the stream, you're like, hey, check out this music. I'm like, why is it so fucking loud every single time?
Well, I have my headphones
it's probably because
low.
You can, like, hear. Yeah, you can probably, like, hear things, like, more clearly or whatever. And
but I have my headphones turned low. Then. Like, on the audio mixer, so...
Gotcha. Because, like, whenever you would, like, try and share music with me, I'm like, why, that's deafening. Yeah. I, like, have to take my headphones off, and I'd be like, okay, now I can adjust it properly. I've never listened to very loud music. I mean, I wasn't very much, like, into music for the most part, like, growing up, so, like, that's probably also a thing. But, like, I would say my hearing's pretty solid. Like, of all the senses that I have, I'd imagine my hearing is probably, like, up there, because my eyes are shit. I need to get these glasses changed.
Doctor?
I have no idea. Phlembologist. I'm going to go with that.
Phlembologist?
Yeah, you got phlegm is all up in all those things, so it'll be fine. Phlembologist. I know that's a real thing too. I know for a fact it is. I need to get
fucking health insurance, and then I'm going to go.
All right, I'm going to go when I go back to New York.
Yeah.
So
I'm never going to go. I'll just stay healthy.
My ears checked out, see what the issue is. Because, I guess I did just look it up, and I was like, I kind of just gave up at that point. I was like, oh, man, this is...
If you go on WebMD, you probably have fucking cancer.
No, I'll look it up right now.
In your ear, which is like the weirdest place to have cancer, arguably.
Ringing an ear.
Ringing
cancer.
You are mildly
dying in 20 minutes.
I am dying in 20 minutes.
The timer just pops up on your screen. It's like, oh, it's happening. Last time I looked at WebMD, I was like... one of my fingers had like a bruise on it that I didn't realize was a bruise. Like, it was just discolored in like the middle of it, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" I looked up WebMD, and they're like, "You're gonna lose your finger." I'm like, "Oh no!"
What?
Why? I thought it was like necrosis. I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually gonna lose this finger. I like this finger. And I was just like, I asked my mom, like, hey mom, do you think it's possible for us to treat necrosis? She's like, you don't have fucking necrosis. You really just hit your finger really hard on something. Like, oh yeah, that would make sense. Like you could bruise like the nail, and like it's really funny watching it heal because it doesn't heal on the nail. It like grows out. So like as your nail grows, it like pushes it like towards the front, and then it just disappears. Which I thought was super cool. But it just takes a long time for it to go away.
A lot, so I get a lot of like.
Can't hear you, Louis.
Why do you?
I bump my feet a lot. I don't know. I just bump. I'm a bumper, and I have like a bunch of bruises on my toes.
Like on the nails specifically. I almost fucked up my toe the other day on my refrigerator. I like just woke up. Obviously I'm just kind of wandering around. I had my dishwasher open because I used it as a drying rack, and I went around it and I just slammed my foot into the refrigerator, and like I knew it was really early, and like I tilted my head back and no sound came out because I'm very considerate of my neighbors, obviously. And I just remember sitting there for like 30 seconds just like looking up like in pain, and I looked down at my foot, and like miraculously I expected there to be no toe, but miraculously like it was there, and it was just very much like you should stop being a pussy and just like go walk around on it. And I was just like,
and you live alone. So that's happened to me before. Like I was making breakfast for me and Ruben. I felt like a generous person that day, and I made him breakfast. And then as I went to go give it to him, I fucking like full force just walked straight into a fucking table and just like, and then I'm like. And then I put the food down, and then I sit on the couch in pain, and then Ruben just like starts eating,
starts slowly eating.
Like, you okay?
I remember very vividly growing up where my mom would like me and my brother would just be playing in our room. It would be one of the rare times where we're just like in a room together and we're not fighting or anything. We'd just be like sitting down playing a game, and then we would just hear mother, and then just like a string of Italian, and we're just like, what the hell was that? Like, Mom, are you okay? And she's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. My mom has always been a yeller when it comes to stubbing her toe, and I take after my dad, where my dad will hit something and just hear that's it. That's as much as you get out of him is my mom is the string of Italian, and that's why I thought my parents never swore when I was growing up, because I didn't understand Italian. My mom was just curse word after curse word. My dad would always just smile. It's like she must have found the door.
I was making sure that my hands, my nails were perfect, because the other day I did a little bit of modeling for, these hands right here. The other day I went to someone's house for them fantasies, like Max, Eric, and Dom.
Yeah.
And then I think some art that they were doing, they required hands to hold up phones with certain pictures on them. And so they asked me to be a part of it. And I was just like, hell yeah, that sounds great. So I literally, the other day, I was in front of a camera, just off, like my body was off screen, but you could see my hand holding up a phone with a picture on it towards the camera. And I was thinking, like, the day of, I was like filing my nails, like clipped them and everything.
Oh man looks like, good for his photo ops.
This is my big break.
Dude,
like in between shoots, I'm just trying to get my head in there so they get a little bit more of me.
I can't stand the feeling of a file on my nails. They feel so weird.
I like it.
I hate it. It's my
like actually the act of actually filing your nails.
That too, I also dislike, but like the feeling after you're done as well, where it just kind of feels like I don't know. It's hard to describe. It just feels rough, and I hate it immensely. Like I've never liked filing my nails or clipping them for the most part, but obviously, that's like a thing you got to do.
Yeah, I was.
So we had a party. We had a party a couple weeks ago. He's our friend's release party, so we didn't really know anybody that was there, and I guess a week later.
Oh God, no!
A week later, it's me, Jagger, Reggie, Phish, Jagger's girlfriend, and Ruben. We're all chilling all the way downstairs in my house, and we're playing Smash and just shooting the shit. And then AJ comes down screaming, and then he's like, I need a question. I have a question for all of you. And then we're all silent, and he's like, did any of you shit in the upstairs bathroom and use a rag to clean yourself up? It's like, no. Nobody did that. And apparently a random person at that party saw that there was no toilet paper, and instead of like texting somebody or asking, they used our hand towel to wipe their shit and then threw it under the sink. And AJ was like
Oh
cleaning
my
the bathroom
God.
for some reason. And then
God.
AJ like walked past like, it smells kind of weird in here, and then opened the thing and grabbed it. So he had like shit on his hands, like smelled it, and then like realized what the fuck it was. And it was
Oh my God.
and we sat there like fucking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like, who the fuck who would do such a thing? And Reggie was sitting there. It's like, it was me.
Yeah,
I
the whole
did it.
time while people were asking, flabbergasted about it, every time there would be a silence, Reggie would just be like, I don't know why you guys are speculating. Like, I'm telling you, it was me.
Reggie, you did not shit in my
Reggie
house.
wasn't
and
even
then use a hand
there.
towel.
He wasn't there.
Reggie wasn't there. And then he goes, I showed up just to shit, and I immediately left.
It was on the
Can
way
you
to my
imagine
next
what kind
destination.
of fucking person does
Dude,
that
I
and
guess,
doesn't
like-
even like throw it out? Like, he just leaves it
Threw
there.
it
It's like,
under the sink.
comes out of the bathroom like all relieved, like, yes.
And then he went back to partying.
And he continued to party.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. He kept drinking our alcohol, making a mess of my house, and then what kind of asshole? I don't like what kind of.
That is a disrespectful
That's LA,
thing to
baby.
do.
You full of freaks over there.
It doesn't make any sense
That's
to me.
not proper behavior right there.
That's
You know,
that's straight up like only that shit would happen to AJ.
That is
I remember-
motherless child behavior, as my mom would say.
Yeah.
Anytime I ever did anything like even remotely like disobedient, she's like, I didn't raise you like a motherless child. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I should probably go and take out the trash, I'm assuming.
We dubbed him the butler.
The butler, that's what you went with? Not
Yeah.
the shit bandit?
The mad pooper.
The mad pooper. Wasn't there I feel like there's a thing I remember reading somewhere about some dude that would take a shit in like his school's ventilation system. Like he would just always put like a piece of poop like in the vents, and it would just smell like shit everywhere.
What
And they
the?
called him a mad pooper.
That's the funniest shit I have ever heard.
No pun intended.
It's like I remember reading that the first time, like, who would do such a thing?
What mad?
That is the
What
most
hero?
monstrous thing I've ever heard in my entire
What?
life.
Because schools don't have DNA tracking abilities. There's no way.
I ever tell you guys about the thing my brother used to do with the toilet paper where he would hoard it, like in his school? No, I ever told you this story? All right, this is pretty great. For Skylar, if you're listening to this, forgive me for if I get a detail or two wrong or not, but I believe it was in around middle school or like sophomore year of high school. My brother and his friends they went to the bathroom like before like the last period of school, and I believe it was my brother or one of his friends found out that like you could kind of jimmy the like little paper towel holders like the toilet paper holders in the bathroom stalls, and you could open it and you could take out those like giant tubes of like 1-ply
Sure.
toilet paper, and you could just take them out, and then like you just put it back up. And he and his friend were just like, oh, that's pretty cool. What if we just take this? So they just took it, and he's like, well, I don't want to take it with me. It's 1-ply. No one wants this. And he's like, yeah, that's true. Okay, how do we get rid of it? And it's like, we could throw it away. I'm like, that's wasteful. It's like, yeah, that's true. So what do we do with it? And then his friend like looks up and looks at the panels in the roof, and he like pushes one up.
It just
He like moves it to the side, and then just puts the toilet paper up there. He's like, go get the rest of them. So he just took all the toilet paper out of that and would squirrel them in the ceiling. And then the next day they would come back and they'd be replaced. And they're like, well, we got to do it again. And then they just took all the toilet paper out and they put it in the ceiling. And then they kept doing it.
That's gotta be a
Every
fire hazard.
Single day they would take tubes and tubes of toilet paper and hoard them in the ceiling. And like after 3-4 months of this, like it's getting near the end of the year, the school calls an assembly and they start having this discussion about theft and thievery. And my brother and his friends are all sitting in the row and they're all just looking at each other like, what are the chances this is about toilet paper? Because they had hoarded hundreds of rolls of toilet paper and put it in the roof of this bathroom. And like later on, they installed a camera directly in front of that bathroom where all the toilet paper is just missing. And on the last day, he and all of his friends, after swirling even more toilet paper in, because they just put hoodies on, and then they would just put the toilet paper in there. No backpacks, no identifying markers. They just throw it all up in there. And, like, they couldn't figure out where the fuck the toilet paper was going, because it was never...
Did they leave
it never was on the camera.
They're using all of it and flushing it.
Exactly. They had no idea where it's going. And, like, eventually, like, on the last day of school... they're just like, okay, well, we had to stop because, like, they started putting a guy there, like, to watch along with the camera, so they had to stop. On the last day of school, that guy wasn't there because who's going to steal the toilet paper on the last day of school? So he and all of his friends and, like, everyone they knew rushed into that bathroom, and they took out every single roll of toilet paper that was in the ceiling, and they filled the entirety of all the stalls with just rolls of toilet paper so they were inaccessible, and just filled with all the toilet paper they'd hoarded in the ceiling. And that was, like, their prank, was just filling an entire bathroom with toilet paper that never went missing to begin with. And then they all just left, and they became the toilet paper bandits. Like, that was the thing.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Like, hundreds of rolls of toilet paper. No one was hurt. They got it back in the end. They just, took a brief respite in the ceiling.
Oh, my God.
What did the school... Did any... I need
no
to
one found
know
out.
more.
No one found out. They've returned all the toilet paper. They just like it's just like, okay, what do we do with it now?
I would be if I was an administrator. If I was an administrator, I would be so fucking confused. I'd be like, I would be going crazy. Like, first of all, I'd be like, where the fuck is all this toilet paper going to? We're literally using school budget because of this toilet paper fiasco. Nobody's coming up, and we can't find anything on the we don't see any toilet paper leaving the bathroom. I don't understand.
It's not being stolen. It's just gone.
and then to like, one person was definitely tortured. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like sitting in his at his home. Honey, he's at home like.
They're in the janitor's closet with, like, a lamp just pointed straight at them. Like, where's the toilet paper? I have no friggin' idea. You have to kill me if you want to know. I ain't no rat snitch. The toilet paper is gone.
The wife is like, honey, you have to stop thinking about it. I can't, Karen. It's just gone.
It doesn't make any sense. The logistics are all wrong.
He starts like, the bathroom is in building A3. He's like, it's on the third floor. What does it mean? He has like red lines everywhere.
They bolt down the only window in the bathroom. It's like an actual fire hazard now. The cops come and they're like, it's illegal, right? It's like, but where's the toilet paper?
I can see a whole American Vandal. Do you know those? That could be a huge. So American Vandal is like so it's like a mockumentary about like a person that like spray paint a bunch of dicks on the cars or something like that, and then it's like a whole fucking thing. It's fucking hilarious. I highly recommend it. But it would be so funny to see like a mocku detective movie about that exact story. I think that would be so fucking funny.
The toilet paper just
it ends
gone,
with
Janet.
all the
It's
toilet
just
paper
gone.
back, and he's gone crazy. He like leaves the school, like
It haunts him for the rest of his life.
I gotta say, like, of all the pranks I've ever heard of, that one's like right up there with the perfect amount of psychological damage to no real harm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a question that for school administrators at night to be like, where did it fucking go? Yeah, hide it in the ceiling, kids. If you ever want to, get away with something, just hide it in the school ceiling.
You will destroy a man's life. There was definitely somebody in the administration who's like, what the fuck is going on? I need
it's probably
to
the
know.
janitors. They were just like, they probably had like a silent bet going on. They're just like, I wonder how many it's gonna get away with. It's like, it's been months. We ain't never catching this guy. It's a very controlled effort, man. It's a very controlled effort. It's almost as good as the dude that kept like uploading just like every single iteration of Halo to the school's internet, like over and over again. They would hide him in folders that would get more and more convoluted. And if you knew the guy, like his name was Matt. I remember him, and I would meet him in the library with a whole bunch of other kids that like to play video games. and he would like hide them inside like shared files on the school's network, and it would be like in folders within folders and within folders, and if you got one folder wrong, it would just like put up a batch file that would just crash your computer, like if you went to the wrong folder. So we would just be like, hey Matt, where is it today? He's like, oh, follow this route, and we get to it, and then we could play like in the library for a while, and then apparently, like, it became such a problem at the school that, like, the IT staff would be like, all right, you need to stop fucking around with this shit because you keep crashing your goddamn computers. Whenever anyone's, like, finds, like, the file, like, on the shared thing, it's just like, do not open. Like, they click it and they open it, and it's just like, Halo here, Halo here, Halo here, Halo here. And it's like, click, click, crashes the computer. Click, click, crashes the computer. Click, click, another 4 folders. One crashes the computer. One crashes the computer. Over and over and over again. And it's like one of those little Russian dolls where you open it up and then like another one pops out. You gotta have to keep going through the correct folder sequence in order to get to the game. And if you didn't, then it would just brick your computer. It'd be like 4,000 windows, by the way. Like, it would be like one of those old school viruses where it's just cascading. It looks like C1 Solitaire, except it's just a million different windows. Then your computer would just be like, fuck it, and just crush itself. Like, just that's it. That's all it does.
I'm convinced every school had a point where they would be installing Halo on their computers, because I think at this point I've heard just 4 stories of people, specifically with Halo, putting that game on the school laptops and just playing it in the library in between classes and all that.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. This game was just super easy to put on there. Never worked, though. Like, the guns didn't function properly. Like, and they were never actual, like, real normal guns. Like, that was the craziest part. It's like, it would be a sniper rifle without the scope on it, and it didn't shoot straight. It would always shoot diagonally, but it would have, like, 4,000 knockback. So if you're in a car and someone shot your car would just immediately do, like, 4,000 flips.
Was
and
it
was
like
just
a modded version of Halo or something?
Yeah, of course. So I was playing on Rainbow Road with Warthogs, dude. Like, it was crazy.
Fuck.
It was really fun. It was a good time. Old school Halo was a modded masterpiece, I tell you. Like, the Scorpion tank would fire just a pulse of energy, and it hit anything, it would just delete it. Like, you could be driving along, your car's just gone, your guy just falls on the ground and skids around for like 4 minutes. It was a good time.
Dude, I was watching this movie. It's called Brick. And it's like it has all of the detective tropes, right? Like, you know, the detective has no idea what's going on, needs to save his friend, like blah blah blah, and then unlocks this like giant like
Conspiracy.
network of conspiracy shit. But it takes place in a high school, so all of the characters are high schoolers. It is so good. It was awesome. It was really really good movie.
Is it as good as the new Batman movie? Because I didn't know that movie went on for like 4 hours, by the way.
I didn't realize it was that long, yeah.
It just kept going and going. I was like, when does this end? And
it?
They finally got the Riddler. It's like, but that's not all. I'm like, what the fuck is left? And it just keeps going and going. I was like, holy shit, this is a long movie, man. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I definitely thought it was a weirder take on Batman. Like, it's hard to kind of, like, for my head to put David Pattinson or whatever his name is.
Robert Pattinson.
Like,
so what I liked the thing that I didn't like about it when I was watching it, I was talking to my friends about it, and then they made me understand what it was, and it actually became like the better, like what I now like about it is that it's not a fully formed Batman. It's a Batman in year 2 of being Batman.
Yeah, but I thought he was supposed to be like, you know, when he becomes Batman, he's already gone through like the whole thing with Christian Bale, where he's like super buff and whatever after the
No. Christian Bale is like older Batman.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But this is like he just became Batman and is still like fucking up and like not understanding what he needs to be doing. It is not like the ultra detective that he should be yet, which was really cool. It was a cool take on it.
I guess it was younger Batman. I feel like he disrespected Alfred a lot. That lost points with me. I was like, how dare you be such a dick to Alfred?
Wait, isn't Christian Bale and Batman? The first one's called Batman Begins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the Dark Knight. And he's not Batman already? I thought he becomes Batman.
No, Batman Begins is the first time he becomes. It's an origin story. But then the next movie is way after.
Scarecrow.
The next movie is way after. He's already like put people in Arkham. He's already like.
Oh yeah, but this is him. It's still the same idea.
Robert
that
Pattinson, I still feel like
he's. First movie.
Yeah, I still feel like he's too young to be Batman.
Also,
that's what I felt like.
The Batman, that trilogy doesn't really follow, like the comics.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like this
alright,
one
if
follows the
that's
comics
Or
more.
movies, maybe.
Okay, well maybe that makes sense.
'Cause they're
I will
trying to
say,
set
though,
up for, like,
I
Justice
loved
League and
his
shit.
car. His car was
Yeah.
sick as shit in the new Batman. Like a realistic like Mustang with like a super like thruster on the back of it. That thing was cool. When it started revving up, like that's a monster in the shadows. That ain't a car. That thing's a demon ready to like rip through the city. I will say though, the amount of damage he caused chasing after that guy was incalculable. Like there's a lot of dead people on his hands because he did that. Like, just putting it out there. There's a lot of dead people. That was a very
there were trucks that
very cool.
exploded.
Oh yeah,
Cars
that's
that
like everyone on
crashed.
that highway is dead. Like 100%. No one survived that. That was there's a lot of dead people
It's
there.
for justice. They fought
yeah,
for the cause.
exactly. And now those bodies are just iced. Like, they're gone, man. They're cadavers, all of them, if they even made it that far. But I will say, me and my dad, who's my Italian member of my family, every single time the mobsters are on screen, my dad did the Italian hand. He's just like,
He looked over.
yeah. My dad would
During
nudge
the
me, be
whole
like,
dude, during the whole movie, whenever anybody would show up, I would just like.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, it started because there was a trailer for some animated Batman movie beforehand, and I forget who it was, but I was making a joke. It was just like, yo, that's Batman. That's the movie. Like that's gonna be him. But then it turned into, by the end of the movie, whenever somebody would appear on screen, Louis would just point. Louis would just point, as if he's just like, that's the guy. and then our friend Jin would join in, who
Dude, he would
was also
also
pointing, and then I was joining in and pointing, and it got to the point where, yeah, at any point in the movie, there would just be three dumbasses pointing at the screen from the row behind us. They were probably like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
I will say, before the movie started, like there was this family in front of me, my dad, my brother, and his wife, and we were sitting there. And as soon as we got in, I'm like, wow, we got the IMAX theater, and they don't even have the cool reclining seat, the super cushy ones. It's like the old school ones that are just like the normal fold-out ones, like
Sure.
the shitty cup holders or whatever. And I was like, man, we can't believe we paid IMAX prices for shittier seats. I could be at home watching this right now. And then his wife, the person's in front, like he's just like, yeah, no kidding, considering the prices it cost to get in here. And his wife is just like, yeah, we could pause it if it was at home. And I go to my dad and I'm like, yeah, and I could be high right now. And I stare at his two kids that are right next to each other. And one of them just looks at me and he just goes, he just nods his head. And like the dad looks at me and then he just looks straight at the screen and stops talking to us. And my dad's like, why'd you do that? and as we're going through the previews or whatever, I kind of touch the seat. The guy just like the kid, his kid looks at me and I'm just like, and he's just like, he just nods back. And I'm just like, I talk to Skylar, like I throw a piece of popcorn at her, and I'm just like, we could be drinking right now. We could do that. You know that, right? And he's just like, oh yeah, totally. And then my dad's like, would you two stop it? And like the guy, like his other brother, who's like a little bit older looking, looks at me and just like nods his head again. Like you can tell his mom and dad were very upset that I was there.
Okay,
it was very fun.
I'll end with the funniest thing I've ever seen at a movie theater, and it was one of my friends that did it. We were watching, I think it was Fast 6 or Fast 7, one of them, and he was like, "Oh shit, I forgot to buy a drink," very loudly in the middle of the movie, and then walked out, and for whatever reason, he had his popcorn and just chucked it into the theater. And so you see him walk out, and then you just see a fucking like a comet of popcorn just
Into the audience or just at the wall?
yes!
Oh my God!
I don't know why. Did he come back? No.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. He just
Walked out halfway through Fast 6 and chucked a bag of popcorn into the crowd.
So they got on strangers.
Yeah, totally. It hit the bag hit somebody. It was like a whole thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he did that. It was fucking weird.
You asked him afterwards, right?
God.
He thought it was
That's
funny.
messed up.
It was very funny. Everybody was laughing in the theater.
That
you
is
just hear-
insane.
You just hear,
Oh god, that's too much, dude. That's insanity. My dad has this story he tells. There's a story my dad used to tell about how he and his buddies would go like every year to like to a baseball game in like Boston because he's a big Red Sox fan.
Sure.
And remind me in the future to tell you guys about the Peanuts story, and I promise you, it is worth every second because it is so fucking funny and so tragic. But that's a different time. I want like specifically my dad to be here to tell it, like if it's on the podcast, because we were thinking about doing.
Oh,
this
we should get our
podcast with
dads. Yes.
I would need to be
So-
back in New York.
Yeah. So I think I'll save that for that particular one because it's one of my favorite stories that he tells me.
Yeah. We should absolutely have a dad cast.
It's so good.
Any finishing thoughts? Any final words?
I think
Go see the new Batman and
Go see
point
the
at
new
the screen.
Batman and point at the screen whenever a character pops up, even if you recognize them or not.
Drink
And then
responsibly.
maybe someone will join in on it. Yes, drink responsibly.
Thank you for watching. And
Yes,
thank
thank
you
you
for
all for
watching.
watching, listening. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peace out.